Good morning, friends. Today I will teach you, friends, how to write letter. Writing a good letter is an art, and to attain this art, you have to have a good command over your vocabulary. This is Dr. SANOBER KAHKESHAN. Today in this video, I will teach you how to write letter. Friends, as you all know, there are two types of letters: informal letter, which is also known as personal letter, and formal letter or business letter. Informal or personal letter, it is written to friends and relatives. Their tone is personal and style is informal. It could be about your home, family, work, or something interesting that has happened to you. Informal letter has six parts: the sender's address, the date, the salutation, the body of the letter, the complimentary closing, and last is the signature. You can see here the date is written, then the salutation, and there are few points you have to remember that you have more not to exceed more than two paragraphs, depending on who the recipient is, whom you are writing, and it varies upon to that level of informality. It is generally accepted that in informal letter, contracted forms can be used, like can't instead of cannot, or haven't instead of have not. You have next with that, you may also use a more colloquial language register like chatty tone, which is I know it is an informal letter. Then punctuations like can be less formal. You need not write an exclamation mark used to signify shock or a joke. Then the dashes instead of commas, brackets used to separate additional ideas and references. You can write all this because it's an informal letter, so no need to be formal. And then after the body, you have to write the your signature. In informal letter, according to Lord Byron, he says that letter writing is the only device for combining solitude with good company. Writing an informal letter might seem like an easy task because there are so few rules. The difficulty, however, lies in three areas. Means students, you have to pay attention only in the three areas. The first one is the appropriate level of informality for the audience. Then the second word is a casual and a conversational tone. And the last one is an interesting letter with both information and feeling, because this is an informal letter. So you have to have a feeling, you have to have a touch with that letter. With that letter, you are going to give an emotional feeling to the sender. See the key ideas. Know your audience. Write with the appropriate level of informality. You wouldn't address a close friend in the same way that you would a former professor. Means there is a difference between the relation of a friend and a professor, but both would be informal letters. So there are different levels of informal letter. Next one is remember the basics. Just because it's an informal letter doesn't mean you can forget the traditional structures like salutations, correct grammar, and spelling, etc. Third one is be brief. You have to be a brief writer. Even if you are writing to someone you haven't spoken to in a long time, you don't want to bore them and too much information. Don't have to be, this means you don't have to be lengthy. You don't have to give every information to the sender. The last one is be sincere. You are probably writing to someone that you have an important relationship with. So while you are writing about you, remember to be polite and conversational. See, here is an example I've given. Whatever the Here it's written, the right hand side, you can see here the address, then the salutation, a letter is written, and the last one here, hope to see you soon, and the name, your signature. Now I will proceed to the formal or business letter. It's written to a person. What is formal letter? It is a written to a person in a company or an organization for some work related or business purpose. They may be business transactions, applications letter, letter of inquiry, letter to the editor, etc. So these are come in the category of formal letter. Now there are 9 parts you have to remember for writing a formal letter. First one is the reference number, then the sender's address. You can omit this if you are writing in a letterhead. Then date, month, year, salutation. Fifth one is the subject. You have to write why you're writing this letter, so subject is important. Then sixth one is the body. Seventh is the complimentary closing. Eighth is the signature. And ninth one is the full name with the designation. You can see here the last slide as what I told. It's written here with an example. You can see the sender's address pointing first, then the date. You can see the address to the addressee, receiver's designation, then the salutation, body is there, subject is written with the body, main content. See, it is divided into 3 parts. Body is divided into how many parts? 3 parts. Introduction, main content, and the conclusion. And the last one is the complimentary closing, where you end the letter with a name, designation. I hope you have understood by this slide with an example. Here you can see a business letter. Here the address, salutation, what's the body here written, thanking you, yours faithfully, and then your name. Again, you can see here it's also, I've given you 2 letters for you to understand it. With this, I thank you. I hope you have understood this. Meet you in the next video.